I was texting with a friend of mine who was um in your era of SmackDown,
Mhm.
and I, he just asking him just, some questions for prep and whatnot. And he said, she was wonderful, but she was a black woman in that locker room under that regime. Not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. It wasn't, but I didn't really fully understand that at the time, and I think a lot of that has to do with me being very young at the same time. Um, didn't get it. Didn't really get it. Um, and it's so funny to me now. I get so many people that send me messages, and you know, and even uh, Mercedes, Sasha, through the years has sent me messages like, "Oh, you were part of this," and I'm like, "Huh? Like what? What are you talking about? Or you influenced me." So I think like when I was going through it, I didn't realize that what I was doing was significant for a myriad of reasons, and I think um, because I wasn't as prominent as some of the other girls, I think because I didn't get some of the same opportunities as some of the other girls, and I think sometimes, and it's not just in wrestling or in entertainment. I think it's just in life is that you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who is picking up on every little thing that you do and thinking that it's gold, you know?
Hmm.
So it does mean something to me when I get these messages from up and coming wrestlers or from fans that say, "Hey, you inspired me," or "Happy Black History Month" for one of the few Black divas. And I'm like, okay, like it's still hard for me to grasp that, that hey, you left an imprint on the business,
Yeah.
as small as it may be, you're in there. It's just one of those things that I feel so blessed to be a part of. And yeah, I can sit here and focus on, well, they were pretty shitty to me. Yeah, they were, you know, but I didn't break my neck.
Yeah. Right. You're still able to
So
raise your kids, right? You're not in a wheelchair. Yeah, exactly.
it could be worse,
Could
it
be
could be
way
worse.
worse.
It could be way worse.
I
Yeah.
think I think that's pretty profound and interesting that when you're in it and there's no time to think. It's You're this close to it, right? You don't have any time to see the chessboard, so to speak, and um you and I think correct me if I'm wrong, when you're saying your impact, uh you're saying, well, I may have been a small part of it. Was was it because there was more backstage correspondence and um
No,
no,
no.
no,
I wanted to
okay.
wrestle. I wanted to wrestle. They were like, they did not want a lot of the divas to wrestle. And specifically, they picked and choose who they wanted to, you know? So, for example, when I was going through the diva search, I remember vividly Kevin Dunn backstage. This is when we were going out we had to do some silly talent thing or whatever segment.
Hmm.
And he's telling the girls, "Oh, you guys have to come up with something to do, da 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 da." And he's going down the line asking each girl what they're going to do. And he stops at Ashley, who, bless her soul, is still one of my nearest and dearest friends, like love her to death. But I remember he stops at Ashley. He goes, "You're going to do a monkey flip." And so I was right behind her. I go, "So does that mean I get to do a wrestling move also?" And he goes, "No." And I said, "Well, that's not fair." And he leans over and he tells me, "Life's not fair."
Oh.
I never forgot that. So
Hmm.
I would say for anybody, any person in the industry that feels like they're not getting their fair shot, or they feel like they just can't break that ceiling or whatever, my advice to you is don't complain about it, just be better. Because what happens is that you might not get that opportunity, but you know, history is always kind to the people that were on the right side. So
Right.
someone
Right.
will always remember and be like, "Damn, that person, I would have loved to have seen that," or "I thought this was great or unique." So yeah.
there's that also that mentality of, well, you're here, like
You should be
that's
grateful.
you
You
should
should
be
be grateful.
grateful, right? And you
And it
should.
sucks because it hurts the brand. It hurts the
Yes,
brand. It hurts the brand. If
preach.
you have somebody that's like, hey, give me an opportunity. I know I can do this, and it's never been done that way before.
Drop in the bucket for that. It is nothing.
It's
It's a
nothing.
few seconds on a
Nothing.
segment,
It's nothing. Yeah.
but it's that control thing. It's that uh
Yeah, and
you know,
there was always carrots dangled. They knew that I wanted to
yes.
act, and they just started with their production company at the time, and I remember Stephanie's like, "Oh, well, we have this going on. Be sweet," you know. Um, but I get it. It's business.
Yeah.
You have to do things a certain way. I don't know what their meetings look like. I don't know what their I don't know. All I know is how it felt and what I went through, and you know. And so one of the things that I don't think a lot of people talk about also, because we talked about like being a young woman in, a man's world, is what that looks like when you're out of that business and you try to date.
Wow. This is huge. Thank you. The transition back to civilian life after being on the pirate ship for
It's
so many
exactly what it
years,
is. It's the
right?
pirate ship. Yeah, and I have a affinity for pirates. Let's just, you know,
It's all adding up. It's all adding
it's
up.
all adding up. It's all adding up. Yep.
So what was that like for you? Because that's guys, I'm sure were absolutely intimidated or had a million
Oh yeah.
weird questions. And
Yeah, they think a lot of men are like, "Oh, you're gonna kick my ass? You wrestled? You're gonna kick my ass?" And I'm like, how do I tell this man the fact that he's even inquiring that I'm gonna kick his ass is a major turnoff? Like, that's not no, 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 no. So yeah, you get a lot of weird stuff like that. A lot of weird stuff like that. It's weird. And then what's even more bizarre is like, it's not that I don't want to talk about my wrestling past.
right,
It's like, can we just kind of like roll into that in a more fluid and natural way? Like, I don't want to talk about this out the gate. Like, I don't know.
right, right.
It might be different for men. I don't know.
Well, I, it does. I think it's a case to case basis. I think
Yeah.
I think if you're, how about this? I think if wrestling was your all, right? You grew up, it was your dream. You sell your soul to get it to the WWE, and then you get it, and guys and girls, but I've a lot of individuals who, once it's taken away, they're just short circuited.
No, I'm not really. No, for me, I
No,
understand what you're saying, but that's
yeah.
not why. I think for me, it was more so like, I don't want this person to Google any of my matches because they were bra and panty matches before I've
Mm,
actually met them first. You know what I mean?
right.
Because I don't want them
Okay.
thinking that that character that is stripping her clothes off is necessarily who I am, you know? So it's
Yeah.
kind of more like, all right, let's build a rapport first, and then I'll ease you into it. And then I'll ease you into the fact that my kid's dad is 250 pounds and he's still wrestling. Okay? Because that's something too.
That's a, yeah, that's a so I'll call you later.
Yeah.
But it's it's the Bobby answers the door. But it's that's the reality, and that's life. And if they can't handle it,
Oh my God. Yeah.